All right, we've now started our YouTube live as well as our TikTok live. So we are going to wait a few more moments and then we're going to jump right into the price action for today. We're going to be looking at gold, silver, because they do look like they're in a pretty good place to potentially move to the upside. And then that will kind of play into the crypto discussion that we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to wait a few more moments and then we're going to jump right into the video. Let's just edit this out. All right. Let's change that thumbnail to maybe something a little bit better. Something like that. And then save it. Awesome. All right. And then get my recorder and get this video on the road for today. Sweet. All right. Also, for anyone watching on the live, if you have any questions, just drop them in the comment section below and we'll be sure to answer them for you. As long as they are like somewhat related to the video topic at hand. Okay. Let's get a little bit of coffee and then start this video. All right. Microphone's on. Test, perfect. Hey traders, welcome to a global macro update. In this video, we're going to quickly look at gold and silver. We have been talking about these two assets and kind of coming to the conclusion that we're looking for continuation patterns to the upside. And on gold, we're looking at that $1,900 zone as a key structural level of demand or support that we're holding right now. So in my personal view, it does look like it's holding this zone very well. And what I'm expecting is a strong push to the upside to continue the impulsive move after the pullback. We know that this around $1,900 zone was the not all-time high, but was the high in 2011, and we broke past it with a strong impulsive push we see right here. And now this is the pullback. This is the market breadth that's holding that previous high as a new level of support before we continue the momentum to the upside. So it would be nice to see a little bit more of a contraction in volatility, but I don't need much more. All I'm looking for is a strong impulsive push, a pullback to validate a previous level of resistance, creating a confluence zone for the buyers. And then we're going to be looking for that next impulsive push to really carry the momentum to the upside. So gold does look pretty good. Like I said, I want to be a little bit cautious until we see that impulsive push come into the market, which is around 1960. Once the price passes that zone, that's, in my opinion, going to be more of a confirmation that we are going to be seeing a push to the upside. So that's going to be gold. Silver does look better in terms of the market structure and the, I guess, how respected the price action structure is. We see back in kind of June, July, we did see a very similar structure. This was a symmetrical triangle that broke, retested a previous resistance as a new level of support. That was our entry right around here. And then we were able to carry that very, very strong, aggressive push to the upside. And I think we are seeing something very similar where we see a very well-respected symmetrical triangle on a large time frame for silver. And I do think if we are going to get a potential move to the upside, we want to see the price break clearly and respect the previous resistance as a new level of support. I think that's going to be a really good opportunity for silver, or if you're looking to kind of gain some exposure in the anti-fiat or like monetary uncertainty basket, which gold and silver would be in. I think silver would be a better play than gold just because gold and silver ratio is very bearish, moving to the downside, indicating silver is going to appreciate at a greater rate than gold. Not only that, but also the fact that silver is more respected in terms of a structure for the price action. So kind of two reasons why I think silver would be a better play than gold, but obviously I do think that they're both bullish for kind of the foreseeable future, obviously, due to the money printing proliferation of currency, not just in the United States, but also globally, looking at other central banks. So I do think that's a really good opportunity. We're just going to wait to see a little bit more of a confirmation, although right now we do see some bullish activity coming into the market. So that's going to be gold and silver Just wanted to touch on these two assets. I kind of bundle gold and silver similar to crypto because of the fact that they're both, in my eyes, a means of storing wealth when currencies are collapsing. And I think at one point in our life, they will really start to collapse, but right now they're just ebbing and flowing. US dollars weakening, but we see other currencies strengthening. So it's not like across the board, all currencies are absolutely capitulating at this point. So now we're going to be looking at another asset class, going to be mainly looking at crypto. Quick questions in the TikTok questions here. Option play and ticker GLD. I personally don't really play options. Like if I'm in crypto, I'll do derivative exchanges, which are options or derivative markets. Or I'm trading perpetual contracts, but I don't really trade options for equities or indexes like GLD, or if you're trading options for like GEX or GDXJ, SIL, all that stuff. I mainly just trade the underlying asset or like a share or an index. I don't really trade options, so not a whole lot of information I can give you on that one. He said crypto play. We will talk about crypto in this video in a little bit here. We do think that crypto does have a really good opportunity to further continue the upside momentum in my personal view. Paul says, any play for Polkadot? Let's just see here. Just looking at the volume and like, is it even something that we want to trade? You know what I mean? So let's take a look here. So now we're going to go into crypto. I'm just going to see where DOT is in terms of what exchanges actually even hold them. Dash, I kind of like. All of these I kind of like. Let's just open a brand new one and just look at DOT, because sometimes we do like to incorporate people's... Okay, so it's on Binance. That's great to see. So on a daily chart, it's basically just going absolutely straight up. I don't know anything about this in terms of the fundamentals. Just looking at the technicals here. Looks like 560, 570 was a strong zone that recently broke out. So that would be your area of a pullback if you are looking for some level of a pullback to validate the previous resistance as a new level of support. So I see an ascending zone breakout to the upside, or ascending triangle breakout to the upside. Let's get our projection. And we can see that that's going to be the zone of confluence here, if it's going to be coming back here. Not really zone of confluence, but I don't really see. Yeah, I don't really see anything else. I'd say the only place that I'd be looking to enter is if it pull back to around, let's say, under $6, and then $6 to $6.50 would be the sweet spot for potential entry opportunity. You could be looking for like a descending zone like that. So then it kind of comes like this. That would be a really nice symmetrical triangle that could be looking for a continuation pattern to the upside. So I'd say it's a little bit early right now. We could be looking at a smaller time frame to see what's happening, but I don't really like to go underneath the 15-minute. So we'd be looking at something just in terms of market structure, something like this. But in my personal opinion, I'd like to see the price go below $6 if we are looking for longs on this particular pair. Volume's not bad. It does look like there is decent volume. It's not like it's super gappy, so that's really good to see. Let's just put in volume. We do have higher RVol, or increasing RVol, which is good to see overall. So yeah, I'd say it's a decent pair to trade, but waiting for that pullback to validate this very, very well-respected structural resistance and validate it for a new level of support would probably be a kind of a good place to enter if I was looking to enter on this particular pair. Rob says, Dotted is overvalued, do not buy now. Yeah, I completely agree. We just had a strong impulsive push. If you are looking to enter in a continuation pattern, I would say $5 and like 70 cents, under $6 would be a decent place to be looking for an entry, just because there's such a strong level of resistance that turned into a new level, or potentially will turn into a new level of support. We also have these ascending zones that are adding additional levels of support. So we see this ascending zone, previous resistance acting as a new level of support, validated by this support zone. And then we see this more aggressive ascending zone creating additional levels of support. So let's just get a little something like this. So this is kind of what we could be looking for, is a pullback validating that previous resistance as a new level of support, something like that. And then we're getting a strong push to the upside. And this is that resistance zone that we were talking about that could create a symmetrical triangle that's going to squeeze the price towards the apex. Once we get a breakout and it's starting of a continuation, that's going to be an opportunity to look for longs, in my opinion. So we could go like this. And then once you see the push, the pullback, and then the market structure change to then break resistances, holding supports in confluence with the descending zone, that's going to be a situation where you're looking to long. So it's not just breaking of a resistance, but you're wanting to look for a squeeze, and then you're looking for a market structure to break to the upside, creating a breaking confluence zone for the supply, and that's going to be an opportunity to look for a long. So that's going to be the highest probability, the most dependable play, in my personal opinion, for this pair. Paul says, stock ticker Mara and or Riot. Thank you again. Yeah, so we can look at those as well. So we got Riot, Mara, Dash, GBTC, which is Grayscales. So we can look at Mara first. And these are all stocks that give you exposure in the crypto market. So the first one's going to be Mara. Let's just go to a daily chart. We do see around the $4, let's say $5 range acting as a strong level initially as a support, and then turn to resistance again. And we got another zone right around there. So we're kind of range bound. Initially, we had an extremely strong impulsive push to the upside, and we're getting a pullback. We see lots of buy volume, very, very aggressive buy volume coming into the market compared to the sell volume on the way down, indicating very strong volume accumulation, which is indicating that buyers are more confident than sellers in short. So let's go to a smaller time frame and understand kind of the overall structure we see within the market. So we were range bound right around here, where we were unable to break this key level of resistance since kind of 2019 October. We were able to break it. That's a very strong impulsive push. Makes sense that we're going to get some level of a pullback. This is the pullback. This is the market breadth after the strong impulsive move to push the price out of this consolidation zone. Also, you can see this is a reverse head and shoulders, where this right here is the shoulder mark, pulled back, and then made a strong impulsive push. So right now, we're getting a pullback to validate this previous strong level of resistance in the breakout point for the reverse head and shoulders around a $1.60 range. So what we're looking for is to validate this $1.60, $1.50 range as a new level of support. That's going to validate and complete this reverse head and shoulders breakout to further continue to the upside. So that's going to be my view on Mara. I think around $1.60, anything under $1.80, I think would be a really good opportunity, because you're validating this resistance zone as a new level of support. And we can see when we really zoom out, very, very well respected structural reverse head and shoulders that you can clearly see. If you want to make it even more evident, there you go. That's about as clear of a reverse head and shoulders that you can really get. Let's do head and shoulders. And if we really want to go like this, so that's going to be like that. Like so. And then we can see that breakout zone is around $1.50, and we see that previous key breakout zone is going to be potentially acting as a new level of support. So yeah, $1.50, $1.60 is going to be a really good opportunity for Mara in my personal belief. Now let's look at another ticker symbol. So we just did Mara. Let's look at Riot, RIOT, which is another way to gain exposure within the cryptocurrency market using equities. So this is a pretty significant chart here for people who just want to be in the equities sector. Again, we see high RVol, high relative volume. That's great to see. Also, Paul, thank you very much for sending me. I don't really know what these are, but you're sending me something, so I assume that it's because you're appreciating it. So I thank you very much for that. Big thanks. Going back to Riot, let's look at the weekly, because this company has been around since blockchain. I think they were a biotech company before, And then when blockchain kind of came into the scene, they switched what they do. Not awesome. I think $35 to $30 is going to be that really significant zone that we want to see break, because we see right here, initially, not really a support zone, but we see lots of rejections at around the 30 to 35 level. So we know that that's going to be a major level that the price needs to break. We also see kind of a double bottoming, where this is going to be that breakout for that double bottom that we rejected oh so significantly back in February of 2018. So, or 2018, February, January 2018. So we got a lot of room, obviously. We got a minor zone right around there, previous high, previous support right around there. So right now what we're looking for is if we're going to pass this minor zone to make it to that zone. So let's go like this and zoom in, a little closer with what we're seeing on the weekly chart. So we know that this is going to be that main target that we're looking for right around there, and that's going to be the next main target. But we see this minor zone right around here, right? We see previous resistance turning into support, turning into a resistance again. So if we break, let's just get, that's not the right one. If we break this zone and then consolidate and pull back to validate this, let's say $7 zone, $7 to $30 is a high probability situation. Exactly what we saw right here. Once we broke this $6 range, we retested for a validation of a new level of support, and then we had a massive push, really two impulsive pushes to get you to $30, right? So we know that this zone is a very strong zone that we need to break. We have not broken it yet. Previous support, new level of resistance, new level of resistance. So what we're looking for right now, I personally wouldn't really be interested in Riot unless we start breaking and consolidating here, very similar to what we saw right here. We want to see that break and retest. So once we see that break and retest, we know that that created a new high from this high, which is breaking market structure. This is currently a downtrend, right? Because we see a high, a lower high, and a lower high right now, and a low, lower low, lower low. So creating lower lows and lower highs is not great. What we need to see is a break in market structure, breaking this previous high, making a new, brand new high. So ideally what we're looking for is a new high. That's that higher high, and we're looking for the higher low to hold this previous resistance as a new level of support. Once that comes into fruition, something like this, we're expecting the next impulsive push to take you up to a higher point within the chart. So that's ideally what we're looking for. And then you can kind of create descending zones to give you more confluence, something maybe along the lines of that. But mainly what we're looking for Riot as of right now is just that horizontal zone to kind of validate that you've created a higher high, and you're going to be looking for that higher low for Riot. All right. That's going to be the two tickers that Paul wanted to be kind of taking a look at. So that's going to be a little bit of information on that. So we're not going to take a look at BTC. We kind of went over the equity side of things in terms of gain exposure into crypto. We're not actually going to go into the underlying asset. We're going to look at Bitcoin kind of as it is right now. So let's take a picture of it. I'm kind of viewing Bitcoin as similar to what we saw in the last consolidation, and I'll tell you exactly why right now. Initially, let's say May until June, so we're looking at this zone right here. Let's just zoom in back a little bit. Initially, right? What happened within this zone? We see 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections of a descending resistance zone, and we see previous resistance 1, 2, 3, 4 zones of a ascending support zone. So initially, we saw this squeeze occur with the price action, right? And once we saw this impulsive push to the upside, that was a little bit, for us, like, hey, this could be the impulsive push for the pullback, and then we're going to get a push to the upside. Now, we got a very aggressive rejection from the sellers saying, no, we're definitely not ready for that next impulsive push. We need to consolidate. We need to contract in volatility. We need that nice equilibrium between the buyers and sellers, and we don't have that yet, right? And that's what we saw. And then we got this long, drawn-out consolidation, basically the entire month of June, and the first half of July was really not much movement in Bitcoin, right? Yes, there was alts moving, but during that time, it was consolidating, it was contracting in volatility, and you couldn't really trade much. So initially, It was a fake out consolidation into a deep contraction and volatility, and then you get the breakout, right? Let's look at what we're seeing right now within the price action. You initially saw a descending zone right here and an ascending zone right here, very similar to that previous structure. We did get a breakout, breaking the previous resistance right here. This was that breakout. But yet again, similar to what we saw right here, we got the buyers to fail and the sellers to gain enough confidence to keep the price from moving too high. So we saw a pretty big rejection there, similar to what we saw right here. Now, what we don't see is a major rejection. It's just a small rejection from the sellers saying, hey, we're not ready, but it's not like we're going to absolutely dump the price below major levels of support. It's just letting the buyers know, hey, we're not ready. We need a little bit more equilibrium between the market, a little bit more balance between the buyers and sellers, contracting the volatility. And I think that's what we're seeing right here. I don't see a beautiful, well-structured pattern just yet, but what I'm going to be looking for is something like this. Initial pattern of a symmetrical triangle fail, a second one that is less aggressive, but that is very well respected and that is very, very tight in contraction. Similar here, we saw a symmetrical triangle fail. That was the initial failure. And now we see a little bit of consolidation. And what I'm looking for is to see the price hold, let's say 10.9, 10.8K for one Bitcoin. And we want to see a nice descending zone here, maybe an ascending zone, maybe a horizontal zone, but ideally we're looking for something like this. We're looking for a nice descending zone and a horizontal zone and an ascending zone, very, very tight contraction and volatility. And once you see that market structure and that impulsive push start to break to the upside, then we're looking to enter in the market because we're expecting the expansion and volatility to start. Now, markets move in waves, right? You're not going to get a straight line from A to B with no other price movements. There are buyers and sellers in the market. There's not just one buyer and one seller. There are emotions that trigger different things, and obviously it's not going to just be from A to B. These are the situations we're wanting to look for because these are market breaths, market corrections, where there's going to be a point in time where there needs to be an equilibrium between buyers and sellers. Very impulsive push, very skewed to the buy side, and then you see a contraction, a little bit more skewed to the sell side, and then you see this nice point of equilibrium where buyers aren't winning, sellers aren't winning. And these are the types of structures you're looking to get squeezes on because they're going to give you the highest ROI and risk reward, in my opinion, because they have the highest kind of expansion or highest aggression move possible. So that's what we're looking for. All right, so that's going to be BTC. Like I said, it's oh my god, my mouse is not really clicking here. There we go. So that's going to be the best trade that just is not present just yet. So I do think that a lot of these alts still have a little bit of contracting to go before we actually look for an opportunity. So what I would be looking for, kind of similar to last time, would be like a descending zone, maybe not as aggressive as this, but maybe something like this. I don't exactly know, but I would be looking for a descending zone. I gotta get a new mouse. I'm looking for a descending zone in order to contract the price, similar to what we saw right here. Kind of like that, right? That's what we're looking for. At around maybe 10.9, 10.8 for us to make a nice descending zone, and then the next impulsive push to the upside. So that's going to be BTC. We're now going to go into the tools that we use. Not much has changed. Bitcoin dominance, obviously, that's going to be a very important one to look at in terms of the alts. We have broken below the support zone, so we are looking at alts to appreciate greater than Bitcoin. But right now, while Bitcoin is contracting and not really moving, we are going to be patiently waiting for altcoins to kind of start breaking out here. And we will look at a lot of different altcoins, so we do have a good understanding of where they are kind of in relation to Bitcoin. But right now, they're contracting, and we're going to be looking for opportunities. We're not entering, but we're looking for the structures that we want to enter once that initial impulsive push does come. And we're looking for that pullback. We know exactly where we're entering. We know exactly what we're doing. And we know exactly what we're risking where our stop losses are, what we're looking for, and we have a very structured plan that we're going to implement if, let's say, ABC happens, right? That's trading. We have to know what we're doing. We have to have a structure and system that we implement every single time in a dependable, repeatable way. So, in short, we're looking for opportunities in alts. Bitcoin is still contracting in volatility, but we do expect that next impulsive push in the expansion and volatility to come into the market. Now that we understand that, let's quickly look at some alts here. Zcash, very, very well respected. That's going to be an opportunity, in my opinion, to look for along because this is such a well-respected descending wedge formation. Dash still holding the 85, 84 zone for a level of support. We're looking at this descending triangle formation and break, especially the $93 range for a horizontal level of resistance and confluence with a descending zone is going to be a key level for Dash to break in order for us to look for long opportunities. VeChain 0.02 has been that strong level of resistance that we were unable to break above, so that's going to be something that we're going to be looking for, although breaking this support zone does kind of invalidate this descending wedge. And Chainlink actually looks like it's already broken out a little bit. We do see this descending zone, first rejection, second, third, fourth. So there's 4 rejections of that zone, validating it for a nice level of resistance. And then we do see this previous high has not broken. So I'd like to see 1540 break. That would be nice because this is the previous high there. If you're looking for a little bit more dependability, you could be going here. I think 16 is a little bit too high. Like you could be going and looking at this to retest, which is a very dependable zone. We see first rejection, second rejection, and third rejection. So what we could be seeing is something along the lines of this, where you see a nice ascending zone, squeezing the price towards a key level of resistance after a descending wedge formation. So let's just get this projection in. Like so. So we saw a descending zone, and what we could be looking for is a nice ascending zone that is going to squeeze the price close to the apex right here. And we're looking for something like that. A strong impulsive push, creating a new high from the $16 resistance. And you're looking for that previous $16 resistance to act as a new level of support, validating it as a key level of demand before the next impulsive push to the upside. That is exactly what we're looking for on Link USDT. So it's looking pretty decent. There's some stuff that does need to come into fruition, but it does look like we could be looking for an opportunity in Chainlink. Lunch is finished, back to work. Take care, man. You too, Paul. Hopefully you have a really good rest of the day. So some information on the alts here. Let's just stick to BTC on this guy. We're going to quickly look at Binance Coin and Ethereum. So Ethereum's $375 zone has yet to break, which is good to see. And we do still see a squeeze occurring within the structure. This zone right here and this ascending zone right here. But like always, we've been talking about how alts follow Bitcoin, right? So whatever Bitcoin does, alts most likely will have some sort of positive correlation. So we're really looking at Bitcoin to continue to the upside. If it does continue to the upside, we are looking at Ethereum to pass 400 to look for an opportunity to carry the momentum to the upside. Obviously, Ethereum is an extremely well-respected structure. I do think Binance Coin is in a much more respected structure than Ethereum, although Ethereum has been relatively strong. And this is that structure that BNB is currently in. We saw a nice symmetrical triangle within an ascending support zone. Very well respected. We see a squeeze closer to the apex. What we're looking for is an impulsive push, breaking the resistance zone that we're currently seeing. A pullback to validate this very well respected demand zone right there. That is from the ascending zone and the descending zone, creating a confluence for the demand. And that's where we're looking to enter, and then we're looking to carry that next impulsive push to the upside. So BNB does look pretty good. And then the next zone, if we do get something like this and we break this resistance zone right here, this is the final target at around 2850s. But oh my God, that's going to be a long time before we actually get that opportunity to get that impulsive move. So Well, excuse me. So we'll be looking for a break and retest of this zone right now for BNB. All right. So I think that's going to be the end of the video. We'll quickly talk about the US dollar, and that'll be it because the US dollar is very important. We do see a consolidation here around 93 to 92. Quickly jumping to the 4-hour, we see this descending zone respected multiple times, create additional resistance for the current price level of around 93.45. So kind of what I'm seeing right now is we see a consolidation just going sideways. We see a resistance and we see a support. What we're looking for is ideally a strong level of a break or a strong break of a level of a support, and then a retest to validate this previous support as a new level of resistance before the next push to the downside. If that is going to come into fruition, we're looking at gold, silver, and crypto to all continue up. Very simple. If DXY starts to move to the upside and we see this consolidation hold this level of support and we see a break of the 94 range and then a retest validating this previous resistance as a new level of support, that's going to be a situation where things could turn into a little bit more of a risk-off situation, meaning S&P could be moving to the downside. It could just be retesting that all-time high that we hit in February. Totally makes sense. Bitcoin, gold, and silver would probably be taking a little bit of a back seat because the dollar is going to be doing well. And that's a time where we could be looking to just be patient. If you are trading FX, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar probably doing very poorly, and the US dollar, Japanese yen would be doing very well. So that's the environment in which the US dollar will be rising, but I think the higher probability situation right now is for the dollar to continue falling, for gold, silver, crypto to further continue its upside momentum. So that's going to be the outlook that I have for kind of the foreseeable rest of the summer, August. Obviously, there's not that many more days in August, but that's the overall macro direction that I do see kind of coming into fruition is dollar weakening, gold, silver, we're going to be looking for longs. I think the S&P is going to trek higher. It could be looking for a pullback, but I do think that breaking the all-time high was extremely significant for the S&P, and I do think that we could be seeing further bullishness, further risk on speculation for global investors. So thank you very much for watching. That's going to be the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you are watching the recording and you would like to see the live version to ask questions and get more engaged, we do these around, let's say, 10 to noon every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We were doing them every weekday, but we go over 4-hour daily, weekly charts, so it doesn't really make sense going over the exact same chart every single weekday. So we split it up a little bit, trying to make them a little bit shorter so people are a little bit more engaged. If you do think that there's something that could be added to benefit the viewer or benefit the value that we provide within these YouTube videos, definitely don't hesitate to drop them in the comments section below. We do appreciate feedback and any constructive criticism that you provide. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching and happy trading. Until next time, have a good one, everyone.